Fenrir, 5 minutes or less. The new operator with Dread Factor. If you get the Battle Pass, you can play him immediately. Otherwise, if you just want to buy him with Renown or credits, you're going to have to wait until the 13th. So Fenn's gadget is the F-NATT Dread Mine, which you kind of throw like a Midas or a Valtcam. As you'll notice, he has a unique UI where you put the mines down, it'll actually tell you what room on the map that they're in. It'll highlight which one you're looking at on your HUD. So I'm looking at 2F square, looking at 1F square. It doesn't matter how far you are. If you get close to them, you'll get the prompt to pick them back up. If you're far away from them, you will get the prompt to activate them, which you can do from anywhere on the map. It's semi-global because you still have to aim at it. You only get 3 codes, so you're gonna be, juggling them around. You get 1, 2, 3, and then if I put down a 4th mine, can't activate it because I don't have an active code. If I want to activate this one, I have to deactivate and then reactivate. If one of your mines gets shot while it is activated, you permanently lose that code. So you don't want to go like hyper aggro with these. You're going to want to protect them a little bit. When you're placing them, you want to put them in a weird spot. Like let me show you one of my favorites. So if I'm an attacker trying to push through, electrical, I'm going to be focusing more on the foothole here and the fact that the enemies could be anywhere in square. But what I'm not going to notice is that I have an F-NATT here in the bookshelf. Like, no one's really going to see that. Even if you drone it out, that's not easy to see. So when they push in, they're going to get hit by the F-NATT trying to swing me. And, they'll be looking for that now. They'll back off. So when you're positioning these things, you want to think about, where your team's going to be playing, where the attacker's going to come from, and try not to put your mine in between those two places. Because if I put a mine like right here, if I'm swinging into electrical and the mine's right here, I can literally just there, and now I'm down a code, I'm down a mine. That's not optimal. You want to put them in really weird spots where they have to actually commit. When you hear an F-NATT go off, either as Fen or as a roamer, you really want to swing on it. Like, you're going to hear like I can't even demonstrate without a second player. It's going to be like a puff of smoke sound. When you hear that, the enemy's going to be blind. You can just kind of swing on it because the enemy's going to have a really hard time actually seeing you unless you're really up here on the mine itself. As far as where you should put them over the course of the game, very top level first thing. If you're the kind of person who just sits and away from your computer all prep phase and doesn't prep for the game, you're going to fucking struggle with Fen. Because, you want to immediately leave and try to figure out where to put these things. What I try to do, is I will try to find 3 places where the enemies are gonna come from. Like, they could come from. So I have one there on Office Hall, so if they come this way, I'm gonna notice. Put one here, and one in electrical. And I would activate all the ones that are focused on all of that, and keep the closer ones in sight inactive. So what you would do is, put the ones for where they could come from, and basically try to use them as proxies. Activate, the ones where they could come from, and then, if you see Office Hallway go off, then oh, some of them are pushing that way, so I'm going to set up for this way, and then, keep the others online so you don't get flanked. And then as the game goes on, you're going to be juggling codes. Okay, there's no flank. Deactivate, deactivate, deactivate. And as they get closer to sight, that's when you're going to want to activate the ones on site. That way, when they actually go for the execute, when they go for the swing, they'll have like 30 seconds left and get hit by an F-NATT you have like up here. And that's not optimal. That in mind, I will say, Fen is a hard fucking anchor. Because if you die, you can't manipulate the dreads anymore. And they'll lose their value pretty fucking quick if you're not around to juggle the codes. It's a lot of code juggling. And asking your team where they are and going, yeah, they're pushing office. All right, they're pushing the other way. They're pushing square. It's a lot of code juggling. It's a lot of talking to your team, trying to figure out where they're coming from, and managing these dreads. That's just the gameplay loop for Fen. He's an anchor with really good utility that you have to actively use. And yeah, that's Fen. Peace.